Hi.
Hello, Kelly. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's so nice having you here because, I mean, I was just saying to everybody at home in Dutch, I'm sure you understood. I was just saying that your story is just like amazing. The things that you do, that you have done, it's just, where do we begin?
I don't know. How about the beginning? I don't know, the middle? Wherever.
It's just, I mean, you've been singing all your life.
Yes, definitely. I've been singing my entire life in church. My mother was the musical director for the church that we went to, which was her father's church.
Oh, yeah?
So music was all around. It was everywhere all the time. And because it was her responsibility to put together all the music for the church. And, of course, my mother raised me and my sisters alone. So everywhere she was, I was.
Yeah.
So I was very involved with music intimately from a young age. So I guess it was almost natural that I end up doing this, even though I never really thought that I would do this for a living. Yeah.
Didn't think you would do this for a living.
I didn't think that I would do music for a living. To me, music was something that, as much as it was a part of my life, it was extracurricular. I had ideas of other ways of supporting myself. I actually thought that I would one day go to law school and be the Johnetta Cochranetta of the legal industry. But I guess it worked out a whole lot differently than I expected. So
well, we'll be hearing more about that when we come back. Funny thing, well, the first video that we're going to watch tonight is a video that has your a song that has your voice in it.
Voice.
And it's just so, we're going to talk about it when we come back, because it's so funny, because now that your single is out, everybody knows who you are, thinking, oh, but that was her there, it was her there, and she was there as well.
Right.
So this is you, basically. I mean, it's Maze, but we're not even gonna look at Maze, listen to Maze from now on. We're just thinking, oh, it's Kelly.
It's Kelly.
Oké, hier is Maze, de eerste single afkomstig van zijn album Harlem World, met natuurlijk de stem van Kelly Price, Feels So Good. Ik zei het net al, nu we natuurlijk haar naam allemaal kennen en weten hoe ze eruit ziet, komen we haar opeens overal tegen. Zo ook dus in deze remix van Mariah Carey's Anytime You Need a Friend.
Yes.
It's just, just what we said now. How does that feel that you've been around for so long? I mean, you've been with Mariah for what, 5 years?
I spent, just under 5 years singing and traveling with Mariah everywhere. And working with her and so many artists, SWV, Brandy, Monica, Brian McKnight, every bad boy artist on their roster. So many people, Mary J. Blige. I've spent a lot of time working with a lot of people, and most recently, R. Kelly, the Isley Brothers.
That was for your own thing, your own album, and your thing. But I mean, the funny thing is, when I was reading through the thank yous in your
the album
thing.
leaf, yes.
Yeah. There was a whole story there, a whole story about you, and what I picked up on was that basically you felt that. Well, let me put it this way. Let me just ask you the question: do you feel that you're finally being recognized now because you're in the limelight yourself, and everybody knows everybody, not only the business knows who Kelly Price is, because they've known all along, but I mean now the public knows who Kelly Price is.
In a lot of ways, I feel like it's been a long time coming. I really can't complain about the route that I took, because I think that I was very fortunate to have worked with some of the people that I've worked with and to be able to learn from some of the best in the business. But it was a very, very hard thing to work the way I worked, and a lot of times have to sit back and not be recognized for what I was doing. But it helped me get to this stage, and I think that as a result of having come up the way I did through the industry and coming up through the ranks and not just being given instant gratification with what I wanted, that I appreciate it a lot more. I respect it for what it is, and I don't assume that anything should be mine just because it's there and I want it. Anything that's out there that I really want, I know I have to work for it, and that's the best way anyway, because I know if I work hard for it, then I have the option to give it up or keep it, and no one can take it away from me. So, I mean, I think that it happened the way it should have happened.
What was it like when you finally went into the studio to do your own thing? Said, this is going to be my album, and you were basically calling the shots. Well, basically,
I had a lot of mixed emotions. I was very excited. I was very hard on myself during the recording process also. And I had to learn how to lighten up on myself, because I think after waiting so long to get to that point and knowing that there were a lot of people who were looking to see what it was I was going to do, I went through this whole mental thing where I kept, I drilled myself, and I would stay on top of myself, and down through the recording process, just be in the studio and really have what I've needed in the recording end of it. I had what I needed pretty soon after going into the studio, but there were times where I'd force myself to go back and we'll try it again, try to do it again, because I really kind of felt like that after waiting so long to come out, number one, if it wasn't phenomenal, then I would be the subject of a lot of criticism. I also felt the need to prove to a lot of naysayers that it was possible to do and do it well, because there were a lot of people that felt that this was something that could never happen.
Yeah.
So I kept that in mind the entire time I recorded. And to a degree, it was good because it helped me stay sharp. But to a degree, it probably was not the best either, because I was a little hard on myself during the recording process. But overall, it was a good time. I had a wonderful time recording this album. And other than the fact that I was a little bit edgy at times.
Well, we can definitely hear that. You put in your I don't know if people heard it already, but it's just, we can hear that you gave your all. And we have to go into a video now, because it's just the way it is.
Right.
It's music, television. We have to go into a video
that's
now.
That's what music television is about, music.
But we will be back with Kelly Price. One thing I really need to ask you, Kelly, is because I was always under the impression that to be able to sing certain things and bring out a certain emotion, you would have to really feel the things that you're singing about.
Right.
Now, I happen to know that, you've got 2 wonderful children, you've got a wonderful husband, so your private life is pretty much, it's okay, it's covered.
Right.
Nevertheless, the album, just to me, sounds like a woman scored. And the funny thing about it is that, if you sing, when you tell us that, she left with your man and everything, I believe you.
Right.
So where do you find the emotion to just, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Actually, I'm trying to make you a compliment. I'm doing real good. But you know what I'm trying to say? It's just amazing.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Thank you, first of all. That is a wonderful compliment. I think that even though now I am in a situation that I'm very comfortable in and I'm happy in my private life, I haven't always had a perfect private life. Mm-hmm. I mean, I settled down very young, and I actually married my first love, but we were both very young when we got together. And so, I mean, it sounds kind of crazy to say, but we got together very young. And even though we stayed together, we went through a lot together. Mm-hmm. So some things about my album are autobiographical. Mm-hmm. They do tell stories of things that I've gone through. And as you get older and you decide, okay, I'm getting too old for certain things, I need to decide I'm either going to be in this relationship or out of this mm-hmm. relationship, and it's going to work or it's not going to work. So we're older now, and we've come through a lot of the things that we went through when we were younger. I've been with my husband since I was 16 years old, and we got married when I was 19. Yeah. So we were very young. So there were a lot of things that we went through that you have to think when all of my peers were running around experiencing the dating game, I was married. And I was getting ready to have a baby. So some of the experiences are mine, so the emotions are very real. Other experiences that have been talked about on the album are experiences of the people who are closest to me. So it's still very real to me to be able to express. So I think like any soul singer, you have the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and not just sympathize with their emotion, but empathize. And you can actually at times take on that burden and translate it through the music. And fortunately, I have the ability to possess people's burdens at times, which all the time isn't a good thing.
No, I can imagine, man.
But in a creative sense, it is a good thing. And I'm able to take it and translate it through the music and feel it when I'm performing it. And that's good, because if I can feel it, my audience will know that I feel it, and then they'll feel it.
Well, we are feeling you, because we are definitely feeling you. It's time for this week's Soul Smash. Het gebeurt heel vaak dat zogenaamd nieuw talent ineens opkomt en dat je denkt van, ik vind het helemaal te gek en ik wil het heel graag draaien, maar Ik geloof dat we hier te maken hebben met iets dat... Ja, ik weet niet hoe ik het anders zou moeten omschrijven. In ieder geval, Kelly, I was just saying that, you know... I was just, during the break, I was telling you something else, and I'm going to finish my story. I have to honestly say, and I am not lying, that I don't know how many times you can rewind a song. You know when you're in the car and you listen to a song and you say, nope, back again.
Yeah.
Got to go back again. I think over the past, let's say, 4 days, I think I've heard a friend of mine about, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. Because every time, you know, it's like, especially the remix, it's like every time you hear something that you didn't hear before, you think, oh. And I mean, the telephone, who came up with the telephone conversation?
Robert R. Kelly.
Boy, that is just...
That was his complete... That was his baby. The remix is R. Kelly's baby.
Unbelievable.
And,
but the funny thing is, I'm sorry to interrupt, the funny thing is that even the album version and the remix, they're two totally different songs.
Right.
But both of them are so powerful. One is just pure hurt and pain.
Right.
The remix is just like, you know, like in the video, you can see it's just pure drama.
Right.
And I don't know, the other one is, don't know how to describe it. I don't think it's always necessary to describe music because it's just a feeling that it gives you.
Right.
But it's just, you know, where did the song come from? Did you write the song?
I did write Friend of Mine. And Friend of Mine is one of those perfect examples of, like I was telling you before, Friend of Mine is a song that I wrote about a situation that took place in the life of someone who was very close to me. So once again, that was one of those times where, because I was in the middle of a situation, although it wasn't my own, I kind of took on that burden. And actually the way to vent was to just, I mean, that wasn't the only way I vented. I mean, when you have friends that are hurt, you cry with them and you go through the motions. And I mean, it just, in the end, it manifested itself in a song. And I wrote
don't do that to me. Don't say in the end it manifested itself in a song, because I'm trying to understand. You're going through a certain emotion, and then not just turning it into a song, but a song that is, I mean, I can't even describe it. I mean, musically, lyrically, the whole deal. Don't tell me it's easy, but it just goes from A to B, from A to Z.
No. It took a lot of watching and reasoning and trying to reason and trying to understand. And then a lot of times when you have friends that deal with these issues, you look at your own situation and you're like, well, God, can that happen to me? And so, I mean, like, that's what I mean when I say it becomes personal to me. So to write the song, I think when I began to write it, I looked at the words and I thought about the melody that was in my head. And the more I wrote it, the easier it did become to write, because the words just came. Anything that any woman would have wanted to say, some of the things that this particular woman did say during this ordeal, it just all came. And it came out and the melody went along with it. And I knew that once the song was finished melodically and lyrically, the arrangement itself was going to have to be able to display the power that was behind the message of the song. So everything was very, very carefully thought through. Unfortunately, it did take a lot of pain to come up with the song, but I think that the song itself has helped a lot of people in its own way. I think that there are a lot of people who have been very, very willing to just come to me and say, I've experienced it and it hurts so bad. But I, in turn, when they tell me that, I tell them, don't waste your time hating that individual. If anything, what I really want people to understand is that it's hard when you're in the middle of a situation to look at someone who used to be a friend that hurt you and tell yourself, well, I still love that person. I'm not saying, you know what we're not angels, and I'm not saying that that's what this is about. But what I am saying is that once you've gotten past it and once you've given yourself an opportunity to heal, sometimes you can go back and look and say, well, you know, sometimes good people get caught in bad situations and it may never be the same. But life is too short to waste hating someone. And so, fortunately, my friend was able to move on and heal and you know, resolve her own inner emotion about the situation. And so it's a good thing.
It worked out. It's a funny thing to say, but it worked out just fine.
It did.
Okay, well, we're going to look at the video now, the remix. My favorite video of the moment. Because you know what the funny thing is? It's like, you know, the funny thing is that I'm always we're doing the phone conversation, me and my friend all the time. Yeah? And we're always fighting about who's going to be Mr. Biggs.
Mr. Biggs.
Yeah,
that's
we all want to be Mr. Biggs.
Everybody wants to be Mr. Biggs. Nobody, I don't think there were too many people that wanted to be Robert.
No,
so
but
sorry,
you know.
baby. Nobody wanted to be you this time.
So who's going to be Mr. Are you going to be Mr. Biggs?
I'll let you be Mr.
Yeah, can I
Biggs.
please be Mr.
All right.
Biggs? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, well, we're going to watch it and I'll be Mr. Biggs.
Yes.
I was just say one thing I have to ask you about that. We're about to close the show, and of course I want to know. You've been on all of those stages, been all over the world. Traveled everywhere, but you were never there for us to, cheer. Go Kelly.
Right.
Go. So when can we do that?
Go Kelly begins sometime in early 1999.
Okay.
Right here, Amsterdam, of course.
Yeah.
We plan on coming over here and giving Europe everything we have to offer. Okay. All the soul of a woman belongs to Europe.
I don't know if I can take all of that soul, but we're gonna try. Definitely gonna try. So
yes.
The album is it's called Soul of a Woman,
yes.
And it's basically it's got everything. It's got beautiful gospel. It's got it's got everything. It's just something that Would I be embarrassing you if I said that it's a classic? It's something we need to have.
No, that's not embarrassing at all. Actually, I appreciate it that people understand the place that I've come from in trying to put together this album. So, thank you.
Well, I want to wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Traveling, and when you go back home, you give your girls a kiss from me.
I sure will.
Yeah,
I will.
And I hope to see you back soon.
Okay,
Yeah?
will do. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.